Hello, I'm Trucker Joe, and welcome back to Trucker Joe's Hideout. We're gonna be doing a little bit things a little bit different today. We're gonna be watching this bobtail that somebody stole on this police chase. If you ain't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it.
Was reported are still on this pursuit. That's a Fontana PD unit behind them. It was reported stolen. They found it. Looks like they're coming to it. Are still on this pursuit. That's a Fontana PD unit behind them. It was reported stolen. They found it. Looks like they're coming to a stop. There's a bunch of units behind. As I widen out here, you can see them. They're coming up into a little bit of traffic. The CHP helped out in doing a traffic stop to try and get this guy stopped, but he actually went around the traffic break and he drove in the shoulder, and now he's gotten past that traffic break. So they're trying their best to stop this guy. It's a really big vehicle. It's real heavy. So they're going to try and get this stopped as fast as they can, but right now they're just kind of following along. We do know that spike strips were requested. We don't know if those spike strips have been deployed yet, but we know that they have been requested and approved as well. So I think it's just a matter of getting in position to put a spike strip in front of that vehicle safely and not endanger any officers or any of the public. We know very little about this right now. We don't know how many people are in that cab. We don't know about the driver. All we know is Fontana PD responded to a stolen tractor call, and this driver fled, and Fontana PD initiated a pursuit. So we don't know anything else. We don't know if there's more than one person in there. We don't exactly know where this started. We do know that CHP asked if if Fontana wanted CHP to take over. Fontana said, no, we've got this. This is ours. So Fontana is comfortable taking this pursuit wherever it goes. And we are currently, we're coming out of Diamond Bar. So we're moving right now on the 60 freeway south. And I'm sorry, on the 57 south. We're on the 57 south now. So we're a ways from Fontana where this all began. Exactly. This is a big, heavy-duty vehicle. It's got heavy-duty tires. You know, these tires are designed to take a lot of abuse. The good thing is he can't get going too fast in this vehicle. You can see right now he's going about 56 in the 50 mile an hour.
First off, what makes him think he's gonna get away? I mean, he's in a bobtail, and they call this a high-speed pursuit, police chase. From what I've seen, I ain't been seeing too many high speeds. Have you?
Range, so he's not going too fast, but the bummer is that's a big, heavy vehicle, so he can do a lot of damage without going too fast in that vehicle. But yeah, these vehicles, they don't stop well, they don't turn well, so there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of danger here of him driving through this traffic. And as you can see, he has caught up to some traffic here on the 57 South. He's driving erratically on the shoulder. He's being a little bit wild, and luckily that vehicle that he's in can't go too fast, so he can't be too wild. And he also seems to be staying on the freeways. He's not getting off of the freeways, so he's staying in a kind of a confined area on those freeways. Oh, looks like he's going to try and... Ooh.
Damn if he didn't make that helicopter reporter out to be a damn liar, didn't he?
He tried to ramp the officers there, yeah, so he almost hit that gore point, and he's getting off the freeway now, so we're going to see where he goes. So this is the 57 South at Yorba Linda Boulevard. It's kind of in the Fullerton area. At the top of the screen, you can kind of see that address changing a little bit. But yeah, we're kind of in the North Fullerton area at the 57 South and Yorba Linda.
Possible. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if that was a red light. It did look like it. Everyone was stopped, but yeah, now we're adding variables as we get onto the street here. Right now, there's going to be pedestrians around. There's going to be red lights. There's going to be cross traffic. So this could definitely get a lot more dangerous. So right here, looks like you just ran that red light.
Oh, and then making
Made
that
a
left
left-hand
turn there. Ryan, I counted about 5 units. How many units are behind this stolen tractor trailer?
Yeah, here, I'll zoom out for you. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's about 6 units, and there's at least 1 air unit overhead. I believe it's a sheriff air unit overhead. I could be mistaken about that, but they're also tracking this from the air. So it's really unlikely that this guy's going to get away with this many ground units, a vehicle that can't go very fast. So it's also, these vehicles, they carry a lot of gas, right? These guys carry...
First off, it's fuel, not gas. You put gas in a truck, he ain't going no damn where is he, truck driver?
I'm pretty sure they carry over 100 gallons of fuel in this. So if he wanted to, they shut that intersection.
Well, damn if he didn't listen to me.
Down. So they kind of figured out where he was going, and he saw that police vehicle in the intersection. So he kind of made it safely through there because it was shut down. Another intersection. Looks like he might be passing a school right now. That looks like a high school.
And it's also right next to Cal State Fullerton. This is right along the edge here. I believe that is the campus of Cal State Fullerton there on the bottom of our screen as we follow this big rig all the way from Fontana, where this chase started, now entering Orange County within the last few minutes here in the Fullerton area, right along State College Boulevard. And Brian, it is interesting to note, I mean, I'm sitting here saying, well, they don't know where this truck is going, yet they did have that street blocked off ahead of it. It's incredible the way that these agencies are working together right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's clearly good communication going on between Fontana PD. I know that I found this, the news desk, the assignment desk found this pursuit, and then we were able to listen to it actually on CHP's scanners channel. So we know that CHP is monitoring it and offering help when available. So I'm sure that mutual aid is coming from other departments. As these pursuits go through different jurisdictions, they will let the jurisdiction they're approaching know, so that they can help. So it's likely that somebody radioed ahead and said, hey, we got this pursuit coming through your area, just so you guys know, it's probably going to be on this street. And luckily, maybe they were able to get a car out and kind of stop that intersection and make it a little bit safe.
All right, if you're just joining us, we are monitoring this pursuit. Brian is overhead in News Chopper 4. This is a pursuit that started, about 30 minutes ago or so in the Fontana area, is now in the OC area. And you can see this driver is driving fairly fast. We have seen he or she cross these red lights. We are concerned, of course, about those pedestrians. Brian, you were talking about that.
Yeah, pedestrians are now going to be a really big worry. This large vehicle, it cannot stop quickly. It's not designed to stop quickly. And so if he decides to run a red light and someone's walking through that crosswalk, that could be really, really bad. This vehicle is just going to lock up its brakes and slide. It's not going to come to a stop real quick. Also, if he decides to make, a quick turn or something like that, he's not going to be able to control it, and he's going to, end up out of control.
You've got to also wonder what the game plan is here. At
Boy, this fella in this helicopter, he was observing, ain't he?
what point, if at any point, will these units decide to call it off and just go into monitoring it from above?
Yeah, that's always a question of safety generally. And right now he's not. All right, so we've got a red light here. Let's see if he pushes his way through this intersection. All right, yeah. So see, he's pushing his way through there, running that red light. Officers are following him. He just made a right-hand turn. All those officers are going to follow him. Yeah, usually when you see them call off the ground units, that's when things have gotten really dangerous. When they're either driving incredibly erratically, driving on the wrong side of the road, going really, really fast. As much as this driver is not driving safely, they are blowing through stop signs and red lights, as we've seen. It looks like they're going to stay on this. And, each jurisdiction, each different, police department has their own rules for that. I'm not super familiar with how aggressive Fullerton PD, Fontana PD is in their pursuits, but if they've come this far, it seems like they're pretty willing to put the time in to get this person and get this stopped.
Absolutely. And, you also have to keep in mind these officers aren't particularly as familiar with this area as they would be if they were still in Fontana. I believe we're here at Orangethorpe. There was a moment there, Brian, where I thought the big rig driver was going to head to the 91 freeway. They were just a couple blocks away. But then he makes this right on Orangethorpe, and now he's going to maybe try to plow through another intersection, as you see here. We keep talking about, strategy. What can you do? Annabelle, you mentioned, tracking. And it sounds like they're just going to have to let him run out, of gas potentially.
There's that gas reference again. Boy, I tell you, these people just ain't very intelligent, are they?
And the other thing, Brian, you were talking about how much fuel these things can take. If a quick Google search is honest, it says 200 to 300 gallons of gas. Now, they only get 6 to 8 miles per gallon, but still, that's a significant amount of fuel. We obviously don't know how much is in this truck, how much is left, but these things can go for quite a long time. And of course, they're designed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. These trucks are designed to go for a long time. What I am hearing right now is that Fullerton PD has taken over this pursuit from Fontana. So that that happens when we cross into a different jurisdiction, different municipality. So Fullerton has taken over this pursuit. I'm sure that Fontana is going to stick around, but they're just not going to be the lead units. Obviously, when you cross into a different city that you don't patrol, you don't know it as well. So we come down here into Fullerton. Those Fullerton units know the area better, and so they might be better equipped to lead the pursuit in this area. But what I've seen in the past is I've seen a pursuit enter an area, Fullerton takes over, and then when it leaves Fullerton, it gets handed back to a different jurisdiction. So they might just hand this pursuit off to different people as it goes, and Fontana just is kind of along for the ride in the back as it progresses.
Brian, with your experience, have you covered any of these, a pursuit with a big rig, a stolen big rig? And, you've got to wonder what the outcome is going to be here.
Yeah, I have covered a couple of pursuits with large vehicles like this, big rigs, including a big rig and a trailer on it. So it's good that the trailer's not on it, because when they've got that big, long trailer, you can do a lot more damage. If you take a corner too tight, you can hit stuff on the sides. It looks like he's going to push through another intersection that's got a red light here. Yeah, it's really unpredictable. In the past, I've usually seen these, they get a flat tire. These tires, they're tough, but they're not necessarily designed for, all the maneuvering and the constant, speeds that they're doing here. So they've already asked for spike strips, so hopefully they're going to be able to get those deployed. But it is, always a toss-up as to how these kinds of things are going to end. Sometimes they just stop. All right, so now he's on the wrong side of the road. There's a median there. He just crossed onto the wrong side of the road. He's going into oncoming traffic. Not really sure why he did that. Looks like he's going to push through an intersection. I think that had a red light. All right,
yeah, it looks like he just wanted to get around those cars. Now, and Brian, if I'm not mistaken, the direction he's heading in would give him an opportunity to get back on the freeway. I believe that the 5 and 91, that major intersection, that interchange there, then is this an on-ramp that I'm seeing here?
Yep, this is an on-ramp, so it looks like he's going to get back onto the freeway. This is the 91, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, this is what I was suspecting, that he could jump back on, and he seemed to be more comfortable, though. He's not quite on the freeway, it looks like, just yet.
Yeah, it looks like that's a kind of a frontage road, but it looks like he may be headed toward that freeway.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're still seeing those 6 units trailing behind this, again, stolen big rig. For anybody who is joining us, we started monitoring this at the top of the hour. A stolen big rig from the Fontana area. They got a call around close to 10 this morning to let them know that there was a stolen big rig. It is now in the Fullerton area, and Fullerton PD has taken over this pursuit. But as you can see, there's about 5 to 6 units trailing behind this pursuit.
Yeah, so now we're on the 91 westbound, kind of in the Anaheim area. We've got a bunch of units still behind him. You have about 5 units behind him there, 6 units, and they're all just trailing him. You know, I've seen pit maneuvers performed on box trucks. I've seen pit maneuvers performed on large vehicles. I have not seen a pit maneuver performed on a vehicle, on a tractor, a semi-tractor like this. I don't know exactly. It's a big, heavy vehicle, so I'm not sure how that would go. I'm not sure if that would work well for the officers, but that is always an option, especially when you get these speeds are pretty good for a pit maneuver.
I don't think it would work too well, but I'd like to see them try. Hell, just for entertainment purposes, if nothing else.
You don't want to be going too fast, and sometimes too slow. It doesn't work well either. But that is another option that we could see as a pit maneuver.
Brian, we have some information we want to pass along to our viewers right now. This is from Fontana Police, speaking to our assignment desk that this is a possible stolen big rig, but it's also possibly a kidnapping. Fontana Police saying that this all started right around 9.
Whoa. Did he say kidnapping? Well, that puts a whole new plot twist on things, don't it?
9:30. They believe the driver is a man and that someone had called 911 saying they were a passenger in this big rig and that they were trying to get out, that the driver refused to let the passenger out. That person was on 911 with Fontana Police, but the call got disconnected. The passenger again saying, quote, he's not letting me out of the vehicle. So it's very...
Well, damn, there ain't a passenger in there. Boy, that would suck. Of course, I'm a hillbilly, folks. I'd be beating that son of a bitch in the head. Just got to be honest with you.
Possible, and I do see, as you zoom in on our big monitor here in the studio, Brian, there does appear to be somebody in the passenger seat right now. So this just got a lot more serious than we realized, not just a stolen big rig, but again, a possible kidnapping, according to Fontana Police. Fontana, where this chase started, as it looks like this is now getting back on surface streets.
All right, so this, of course, heightens that situation even more so as we're taking a look there, Brian. I don't know if you can zoom in anymore. I know you're very tight there, just to see if we can get a little bit closer as to who that person may be inside. And it did look like there was a head kind of bobbing in the passenger seat there, Brian. And yeah, this just became a lot more serious of a situation than we anticipated.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. You know, we hadn't heard about the fact that there might be a second person in there, and especially a second person that was not in there willingly. So that definitely changes the game here. That would be interesting. I mean, the vehicle has stopped a couple of times or slowed down, and we've never seen any doors pop open. It did look like there was a second person in there in the passenger seat. Hard to tell from way up here.
The only thing I could think of why that dude would be sitting over there and not beating that dude in the head if a dude's got a gun on him. Now, that would make a lot of sense. You know, I'd sit there and be quiet, too, I reckon.
You know, we just saw them get off the freeway. They're on Brookhurst Road now, kind of in the Anaheim area. They don't seem to be traveling anywhere specific. A lot of the times pursuits, people go to places they're familiar with, but this is so far away from where this pursuit started. It does seem to be a bit aimless in where he's going and how he's traveling. But you never know. You never know what's going through these people's heads, where they think they're going, or how they think they're going to get away.
Yeah, and again, you know, we're talking about this being possibly a stolen big rig with a possible kidnapping. We don't know. We're still, our assignment desk is trying to gather more information here, but we don't know if that person who is inside that vehicle as a passenger is the driver of that big rig when that other person, the now driver, got in. So, you know, we're trying to sort these things out as well, but you can see there the driver of that big rig right now. And we're still trying to make out if the other person on the passenger side who could potentially be a kidnapped person.
Well, I was noticing I don't see no DOT numbers or a company name on that thing anywhere. It's probably like a rental truck.
Yeah, and that would be a real terrifying ride to be on if there was somebody in that tractor that was not there, you know, willingly, that could be pretty terrifying for them to just be along for the ride here, especially when things come to an end. Things get real dangerous. They get real chaotic when pursuits end sometimes. So that would definitely be a pretty scary situation to be in, let alone be in there during the pursuit, not having control, not knowing what's going to go on, not knowing when you're going to be done with this. So that could definitely be a very, very scary situation for somebody.
It's interesting to note too, Brian, as I'm thinking out loud, not anyone can just drive a big rig. They're obviously specialty vehicles. They require a special license, so it has to be someone with experience driving one of these, which are not easy to do. The average driver cannot get in a big rig and take off with it. Unfortunately, we've seen that happen.
Hell, if that's an automatic truck, which most trucks coming out today are, hell, a monkey can drive that damn truck. Especially bobtail.
Not very successfully, but yeah, you can assume this person has driven one of these before.
Yeah, I would agree. Their driving seems to be pretty in control. You know, they seem to be pretty familiar with how long it takes this to stop and how to maneuver it. You know, it's because you're right. It's not something that anybody could drive. It's a really big vehicle. It's long. So it definitely would take someone with knowledge to drive this. And it does appear that this person has driven one of these before. They have automatic tractors. They have manual tractors. I'm pretty sure this is going to be an automatic. This person's just been rolling around. So yeah, I would say that whoever's driving this probably has driven one before. They look pretty competent behind the wheel. They're not having trouble controlling that vehicle very much at all. They're able to make sudden turns. You know, we saw them duck off the freeway, drive on the wrong side of the road. He's kind of driving in the median right now, looking to get around traffic, going through that intersection, driving in the middle of the road. Yeah, it seems like he's getting a little bit more reckless and a little bit more dangerous as we're going here. But again, he's on the street, and so that's, you know, going to be more dangerous. There's going to be more variables and situations that he's going to run into. Looks like he's going to run a red light here. There's another police vehicle right there. I don't know if he was involved or saw it coming or what, but he just passed a police vehicle as he went through that intersection.
Brian, you mentioned that they had called. They called in for a spike strip, but what's the latest on that?
I don't know. I haven't heard any more on the scanner. I haven't heard any chatter about that. As we were coming up, we know that they had asked for permission to use a spike strip, and that was granted. I know that when they were performing that traffic break that was happening on the freeway right when we caught up with this pursuit, that's kind of when they were talking about using that spike strip, but I don't believe that they got it deployed. I don't believe that they were able to use it and actually deploy it in front of this vehicle. And those aren't things that you can easily set up. You have to have a little bit of notice, and you have to be able to predict where this pursuit is going to go in order to get an officer there, get them out of the vehicle, get the spike strip ready. And I don't believe every vehicle has a spike strip in it. You need to have a vehicle, a patrol vehicle that has a spike strip in it, and an officer that knows how to use it. So that's, you know, it's going to take a little bit to set that up.
Yeah, the spike strips take special training. They're notoriously dangerous, even for officers who have experience using them, because often the driver will try to avoid the spike strip, and there's a big potential there for, you know, crashing into the officer who's deploying it. The one thing, Brian, since we've joined you, and since this person's jumped off the freeway, they clearly don't know where they're going. It's almost like they're going in a kind of a circle-ish area around this, you know, Brea, Fullerton, you know, wherever we are now. I mean, now we're seeing this vehicle finally come to a stop. Let's see what happens here.
Oh.
Okay.
Do something as a water bottle?
So it's a
He
water
threw a
bottle
water
thrown,
bottle out, or it fell out.
and the person seemed to be on the phone.
So we're in Buena Park now. And this is interesting. He stopped. It looks like he stopped for no reason. He just decided to stop. So you can see 5, 6, 7 officers behind him. And he simply stopped.
Right.
This is interesting.
But hand is still on the steering wheel there.
Yep, and it looks like he started moving there for a second. It looks like he's talking to officers. So he's gesturing, talking to officers. It does look like he has a phone. All right, he's going again.
It looks like we're in the Buena Park area right now. This is on Commonwealth Ave.
Looks like this might get interesting, folks. Stay tuned.
Avenue, approaching Beach Boulevard, obviously a major thoroughfare if you know the Buena Park area. And also, Brian, I believe he's heading in the direction of the 5 freeway, which will be another option for him coming up shortly.
Yeah, he's traveling west right now through Buena Park. And yeah, should be coming up to the 5 soon. So we'll see if he takes that. He's been real unpredictable. He's been on the freeway a lot. He's now been on the streets a lot. So, you know, we're just going to be along for the ride. It looks, you know, people that are doing pursuits like this oftentimes are having, you know, some kind of situation going on that's leading to them not thinking correctly. Obviously, a rational person who's thinking correctly is not going to be, you know, leading police on a pursuit, especially a pursuit this long. So he seemed agitated. He opened that door. He was gesturing to the police officers. He definitely seems agitated. I'd be curious to know if there is actually still somebody in, you know, a passenger in there, and if there is, why? Oh, it does. There is.
Yeah.
There's a person there. Look at that. But I'm curious why they didn't hop out when the vehicle stopped.
Well, you can.
Because he could very well have a gun on him. You don't know what's going on inside that cab. Looks like it's got tinted windows, too.
You can only imagine.
Gosh.
So we're getting a little bit more information again from Fontana Police. They're calling this a cold-plated vehicle, which means that the plate that you see half hanging off the front of the truck does not match the actual vehicle itself. So they believe that's why it's a stolen vehicle to begin with, and that the passenger may be a woman. Regardless of who the passenger is, the thing is, too, Brian and Annabelle, is they could be under the threat of a weapon by the driver, who seems very erratic. And again, this passenger, according to Fontana Police, had been on the phone with 911 saying that the driver would not let them out of the truck. And then suddenly that call with 911 got disconnected, and they have not been able to reconnect with the passenger. We did see the driver of the big rig on the phone moments ago when he stopped and, you know, said some things to the officers behind him. And now it looks like the passenger window is open too. Okay. Oh, look, this person may be trying to help or being asked to help.
Okay, that person inside is gesturing. Yeah, that's very odd here. Again, very, very concerning for that person who is inside. And as Jonathan was saying, asking to be let out, but that person is not allowing them to exit to get out of that vehicle. So, don't know what this is going to look like here. But for anybody tuning in, this is a pursuit that started around 9:29 this morning at Foothill and Palmetto in the Fontana area. And now we're in Buena Park. Is that what you were saying, Jonathan?
Yeah,
or
I believe
Brian?
we're in the Buena Park area
Are we
right
still
now.
there?
Yeah.
We're in Buena Park right now.
So this is a stolen...
Going through a neighborhood now.
Right, and officers believe this is a stolen big rig with a person inside. That passenger is a possible kidnapped person. So monitoring the situation, we've seen all sorts of things. You know, at one point, Brian, we did see this vehicle stop.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I think I've lost your IFB feed.
Okay, well, we're going to try to reconnect with Brian. Yeah, that vehicle stopped just moments ago. We did see the driver open the door at least once or twice. We saw a water bottle fall out, and that the driver appeared to be on the phone. It's unclear, but it is, you know, typical in these situations that whoever the driver is, may be in contact with law enforcement. They may be trying to contact him. As we're going to see another turn, you know, most of this chase, since we've been over it, has been on surface streets. Prior to that, it was on the freeway. A lot of erratic driving, though we're not seeing that as much right now. But they are still blowing through red lights. They're not, you know, yielding to any kind of safety protocol right now. And what we understand is there is a second person, a possible kidnapping here happening in real time inside of this big rig. We did see that person, Annabelle, moments ago, gesture to someone on the...
That's the only thing I can think of while that person ain't beating that dude in the head or trying to get out, is they've got a weapon pointed towards them or something. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Let's stay tuned, folks.
Street, almost as if they were asking for help.
Yeah, that was really interesting, seeing that civilian kind of approach that vehicle and interact with it a little bit. They definitely looked like they were talking to whoever was in that vehicle. And, you know, maybe that individual saw this pursuit on, you know, watching our feed and decided they wanted to try and help because they saw it coming by where they were at. who knows? That's really dangerous, though. It's really dangerous to interact with a pursuit like this that's really unpredictable. You know, we kind of need to let the police officers deal with this, let them, you know, take care of this situation. It's really unpredictable and dangerous to interact with a pursuit like that.
And here's the thing. We're talking about a heavy-duty vehicle here. That's going to take a lot longer for it to stop. And if it's going at these high speeds, that's putting other vehicles, other drivers at risk here, especially if it's crossing these red lights, as we see it get back now on the 5 freeway.
And one more note, Brian, before we send it back to you. You know, the Fontana police also telling us that spike strips could be used, but they often don't work well with a vehicle like a big rig that has as many as 10 tires on it. So they're saying, hey, it is an option, but it may not be as effective as it would on, say, a passenger vehicle, as we're now back on the freeway for.
I'd take them stair tires out. He ain't going nowhere to that far anyway. Don't you think?
The first time in a while. What direction are we heading here on the 5, Brian?
Yeah, so we're on the 5 north, although it looks like he's hopping off of it almost immediately. I don't know if that's okay. So yeah, so that's just an off ramp. He's getting back off the freeway. Yeah, so those tires, you're right. There's a lot of tires on that big rig, and he could, especially in the back, he could lose 2, 3, maybe even 4, and still have control of that vehicle. Yeah. Those front tires, you know, if they could get spike strips on those and let the air slowly out of those, that would help a lot. But yeah, also these tires, these are incredibly strong tires. They're designed to carry heavy loads for long amounts of time. So those spike strips might not do as well against tires that are this, you know, strong and heavy duty.
So it looks like we're underneath the 5 freeway here. We're still in the Orange County area. Again, this is a chase that began in Fontana. And Brian, I think the one thing that's clear as we're continuing to follow this big rig, this driver does not know where they want to go. This has been kind of a mess of direction, circling around Buena Park, Fullerton, Brea. You see someone crossing the train tracks there. And they clearly don't have a plan. But the issue is they have this basically a tank that they're driving, and all the officers on the ground can do is follow, because they can't pit this. They don't have a direction. They can't really spike strip it.
That ain't no damn tank. That's a 13-liter shit spreader.
It's going to be one of those things where are they just going to wait till they run out of gas? And even then, you know, we talked about it. These big rigs can carry hundreds of gallons of gasoline at a time, or diesel, and they're designed to go for quite a while.
Yeah, it really, I mean, I've seen pursuits with large vehicles like this go for quite a while. So it's unpredictable. I definitely think this person doesn't know where they are. They don't know where they're going. They have been really aimless getting on, getting off the freeway, as you just saw. He was on the 5 there for just a single stop. So yeah, it seems like this guy doesn't know where he's going, doesn't really have a plan, and is just kind of running out until he can figure something out, or he can cool off, calm down, and just get out and give up. Which that happens as well. That happens on a lot of pursuits where we're watching this pursuit for a while, and all of a sudden they stop, they get out, and they go, hey, I'm done. Because they come to their senses, they realize they're not getting away. They know there's helicopters above, there's multiple ground units, you know, behind them, and they just go, okay, I'm not getting away. I'm going to call it quits. And that's what we would hope for. That's what we want this person to do, to stop putting the public in danger. But right now, they're just kind of aimlessly wandering around here in, you know, we've kind of gone through Fullerton and Buena Park and Anaheim, and we're kind of back into Buena Park now. But hopefully they just end this soon.
All right, so we see, Brian, this pursuit is on Knott Avenue. Can you just kind of widen your shot a little bit more just to see what's ahead here? Brian, do we have you here?
Hey, I've got you. Sorry, I lost you for a moment. What was that question?
Yeah, if you can just widen your shot a little bit more. I know this pursuit is on Knott Avenue. You just want to see what's coming up here. All right, so it seems like a red light. And here we go. Oh, boy. Yeah, so what's interesting is that oftentimes we've seen at intersections, this driver has been making right turns and at some points has been crossing those red lights. Very, very dangerous situation. Again, we still don't know much about that person who may be kidnapped inside.
I think, there was a moment there, Brian, where I thought they were going to pull over. They were going to give up. When he opened the door, all he did was yell at officers, seemingly, and he was on the phone. We saw the water bottle fall out, and moments later, we confirmed that, yes, there is a person in that passenger seat. Again, Fontana police saying this is a possible kidnapping inside of a stolen big rig. Here we are back on the freeway. It's just kind of this back and forth. They end up, lately we've seen, Brian, as much as this was on the freeway to begin with, they seem to go one exit and hop right back off. And again, it's just another sign that despite it looks like seven vehicles, patrol vehicles behind it, they don't have a clue what they want to do here. This driver does not know where he wants to go. And that's what makes this really difficult for officers. They're just kind of following along with whatever the driver seems to want to do.
Right, like there's no actual game plan here as to how they're going to get this driver to stop.
You can't pit it, you can't spike strip it. They don't have a clear direction of where they're going. And then this driver doesn't seem to want to stay on the freeway for longer than an exit or two. We'll see what they do here.
Yeah, so we're back on the 91 now. And, you're right. This is going to be really hard to predict for the officers to get something in front of this person because they keep getting off the freeway, changing where they're going. They're just kind of driving erratically around this area. So that's definitely going to be difficult for officers to... all right, so he stayed on the freeway a little bit now, and the majority of this pursuit was on the freeway. He came down the 15, got onto the 60, got onto the 57 to the 91. He's on the 5 for a minute, so he's been on the freeway a lot for the majority of this, but he's also gotten off the streets recently in this pursuit and been on the streets a lot. I would rather him be here on the freeway. It's a little bit safer. You see, that's a CHP unit that's pulling up alongside. This is interesting. I didn't ever used to see this tactic where a CHP officer would pull up close to the suspect vehicle, but I've seen it a few times recently, and this is kind of wild to me. It's not something that I've seen a lot, and I'm not sure what exactly they're trying to do here by pulling up so close. Perhaps get these civilian vehicles out of the way that I don't think that silver vehicle next to the truck knows that there's a pursuit behind them. So maybe these officers are trying to get people to stay back, keep people from passing this dangerous driver. He's staying on the freeway for right now, but we have seen him try and what they call ramp the officers when they suddenly jump off of the freeway.
Yeah, we never used to see, to your point, we never used to see this getting ahead of the vehicle ever.
Right, so you got to wonder.
I'm wondering if he has a
CHP officer said, man, I ain't got time for this shit.
Spike strip that he might be trying to deploy ahead of this vehicle to get him to stop or possibly run a traffic brake ahead of him. I'm going to widen out, see what's going on here. He's probably just raced up ahead, clearing traffic. He might try and perform a traffic brake to stop traffic and kind of create a road dam for this truck that he won't be able to get it past. There's another one. There's another CHP going past. That's so interesting. That's not something I've usually seen in the past.
So this is the second time that they would attempt a traffic stop if that's what they're trying to do here, right, Brian?
And Brian, explain what happened last time they tried it.
Yeah, so last time they tried it, he actually went all the way over to the shoulder, and he drove around the traffic brake on the shoulder. So I'm not sure. There's a third. That was another CHP vehicle and another one. So they're planning something. Something is going on, but it looks like this guy might be trying to get off the freeway. He's obviously seeing those vehicles go past him as well. So he might try and get off the freeway and avoid whatever they're setting up. They might be going ahead and blocking off ramps so that he can't get off if they perform a roadblock. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with those CHP officers getting ahead of this pursuit. But that's definitely unique and something I have not seen very much.
Yeah, we have seen the CHP be a lot more aggressive with these chases over the last maybe 3-4 months or so. A noticeable difference in tactics, though I don't think it's something that they're making openly public right now. And the issue here, Brian, as I'm watching this truck get on the off-ramp, you can't get too far ahead. You're right, because then they see what's happening and they veer for the first exit, and it looks like that's exactly what happened here. The other issue is if you try to block the path, you run the risk of this person just driving through you. Like I said, this is not your average passenger vehicle. This is basically a tank on wheels, with speeds that can pick up pretty quickly. You really run the risk of putting your officers in front of a vehicle like this.
Yeah, absolutely, right. So that vehicle, that tractor trailer, or that tractor would have no problem pushing a police vehicle out of the way. You know, it's designed to haul a real heavy trailer, so it's going to have plenty of power to push, you know, a single vehicle out of the way without too much problem. But yeah, so we kind of saw it happen where they zoomed ahead, but then they, you know, the vehicle got off the freeway.
And now we're back on surface streets. A lot of this is now starting to look familiar, Brian. Can you give us a sense of where we are at this point? I'm seeing a lot of familiar street names, Brookhurst, the 91 freeway, things like that, and it just seems like we're going in one giant circle.
It does seem like that. It seems like, and maybe he is familiar with this area. Maybe when he stole this vehicle, his intent was to come down here with it anyways. And so we've gotten to an area where he's familiar with, because a lot of times these pursuits, when they end up driving in circles like this, it's because they're familiar with the area. So it seemed random at the time. You know, it seemed random as we've been following him, but we're back on Brookhurst. We were on Brookhurst earlier. So this may not be as random as we think. He was here, exactly here, not too long ago. So he is kind of traveling in circles now. We're not exactly sure what he's doing. Looks like he might be getting back on the freeway.
I had the same thought, Brian.
Hell, in my opinion, he don't know what he's doing. Hell, he just knows he's going to be in trouble if he stops.
And, you know, perhaps this person is familiar with this area, frequents it, lives in the area. That's why they're so familiar with it. And we've been kind of circling this since we first got over this on the 57 freeway, entering the Orange County area from where this first started in Fontana. Again, the possible kidnapping in progress here and in a possible stolen big rig. That's all according to Fontana police. They believe that the possible kidnapped person is a woman in the passenger seat who had called 911 but got disconnected, saying that the driver, who we believe to be a man, was not letting them out of the vehicle. And again, we're talking about a situation with a big rig where pit maneuver out of the question, really. Is spike strip possible if they could have any sort of pattern and get ahead?
Come on, try the pit maneuver. I want to see it. We all want to see it. Come on, try it.
We're back on the 5 North now, and we're now in an area that we haven't been. This is not a spot that we've been to before in this pursuit. He's picking up speeds a little bit as he's now on the freeway, and it seems like there's not much traffic. We're kind of hitting the 60 mile per hour mark, which is about as fast as we've seen him go during this pursuit. But yeah, he seems to be, he's kind of staying over to the right side of the freeway there in the, you know, like number 4, number 5. And there we go. He's getting off again at Auto Center Drive. We saw him on a different part of Auto Center Drive earlier. Yeah. But there he goes back off the freeway, perhaps staying in an area that he's familiar with, but just kind of trying to drive and get away and kind of see what happens. But yeah, so now we're back to slower speeds, back to a more dangerous situation. But there you go. See, driving again north, just on a road next to the freeway. All those ground units still below him. There's an air unit still in the air above him. So he's not going to get away. The bottom line is, unless they call off the ground units, go into surveillance mode with the air unit, this guy's not going to get away.
Yeah, we saw some of those vehicles just kind of get out of their way as they were trying to maneuver to get onto that, to make that right turn there.
The other thing, too, Brian, is this driver may know that the further north they go on the 5 freeway, they're going to hit a lot more traffic, especially once the 5 enters LA County. So they may know that. You know, obviously the 5 freeway a little bit emptier at this hour in the Orange County area. They seem to be trying to stay away from as much traffic as possible. That's why we've seen this person go on the wrong side of the road at some points, and obviously stick to freeways that are much more open. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be a game plan at all as they make yet another right turn, and the circle continues.
Yeah, he's just kind of going in the same area, kind of doing circles. I'm looking out my window right now at the 5 North, and yeah, it's not particularly light traffic. There is plenty of cars on it on both the northbound and southbound sides. So yeah, and the closer he gets to LA, the more populated it's going to get. So he may be staying off the freeway on purpose. Oh, he's coming to a stop. All right, that's the same person. That's the same person as earlier, I think.
Oh, okay. Wait, did that person just hand something or drop something off on that vehicle?
There's a Bearcat. Oh. They just rammed it with a Bearcat. Holy moly.
You need a tank to stop a tank.
Yeah, that's a SWAT Bearcat. It looks like they're getting very aggressive here. It looks like they're going to try and pit that vehicle with the Bearcat.
All right, and this is a narrow street, so again, we see a bunch of vehicles here as well.
We're going to try it again here. This is a very dangerous situation. Now we're seeing speeds pick up. We want to let our viewers know the 11 o'clock. Sorry, we're trying to get everything together here. The 11 o'clock news on NBC4 is started early here. We've been over a chase out of the Fontana area, now in Orange County. It is a big rig, a possible stolen big rig that we've been following, and a possible kidnapping. We understand that there's a potential woman in the passenger seat. We've seen a person reach out to people on the street, and in the last few seconds, we've seen that Bearcat there, a SWAT vehicle, trying to meet its match, trying to pit this truck and finally bring this chase to an end. We want to get back up to our Brian Andrews. He's been following this in News Chopper 4. And yes, we started our newscast early. Brian, we want to get back up to you. This is quite the development here.
Yeah, this is pretty aggressive and pretty wild. This is something I have not seen very often at all, is using a Bearcat to try and pit a larger vehicle like this. But that's what they need, that Bearcat. That's okay. So we're gonna. I might drop the shot here. He's kind of driving unpredictably, so I'm going to try and keep the shot here, but it's going to be a little bit tough. All right, we got it. Yeah, so that Bearcat, that's a heavy vehicle, and what they're going to do is they're going to use that heavy vehicle to try and pit that heavy tractor. Because the normal patrol vehicles, they don't have the armor and the ability to do that. It did look like he rammed the side of that truck, and there might have been fuel spilling out, because he rammed it kind of right where those big silver gas fuel tanks are. And he rammed it pretty aggressively, but this is definitely a very interesting situation. I'm not exactly sure which municipality that Bearcat is with. It just looks like it says police on it. I'm not sure if it's Fullerton. I'm not sure if it is CHP or Fontana. I'm not sure who it is. I would guess Fullerton, since right now Fullerton is the lead in this pursuit. But yeah, it looks like they're saying, all right, enough is enough. We're going to end this on our terms. And okay, there you go, driving on the wrong side. He cut that corner. Yeah, it looks like there might be fuel coming out of that. It looks like there might be fuel coming out of that left side. So you can see there is some damage to that left side fuel tank there, right in the center of the screen. That silver, that's a fuel tank. He's been crunched a little bit there. So he may be leaking diesel fuel as he's been driving along here from that Bearcat connecting with that tractor. And that tractor, go ahead.
Brian, and I've noticed that the passenger has been gesturing quite a bit. I'm not sure if you noticed that at one point before this pit maneuver was attempted, this person threw something out, or at least was trying to, really just stuck out one of her arms out. And I'm not sure if you caught that.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't. I saw that when the tractor stopped just a few moments ago, I saw him interacting with somebody on the side of the road. I don't know if that was just a random person that happened to be there, or if they were interacting with the tractor. But I definitely saw that person right there. Right before we saw the Bearcat ram them, we saw that person on the side. But no, I didn't see them trying to throw anything out of that cab.
Okay, and this is interesting. Now we're in a residential area.
Here on the right side of your screen, you had that moment there of when that Bearcat that was just brought onto the chase here attempted a pit maneuver. And from Brian, from your shot, yes, that gas tank on the left side of the driver's side of the truck suffered significant damage. I mean, that is very significant. We talked about that these two tanks on either side of the big rig can hold hundreds of gallons of diesel fuel each, meaning this vehicle, despite its terrible fuel economy, can go a long ways for a long time, but there took a big hit. And we know that Bearcat is going.
Yeah, pulled up next to that vehicle. It's almost like that person inside that vehicle handed something up to the passenger of that truck. I mean, y'all see that? I sure did.
Tractor stopped just a few moments ago. I saw him interacting with somebody on the side of the road.
We've seen big
I don't know if that was
just
a random person that happened to be there, or if they were interacting with the tractor. But I definitely saw that person right there, right before we saw the Bearcat ram them. We saw that person on the side, but no, I didn't see them trying to throw anything out of that cab.
Okay, and this is interesting. Now we're in a residential area.
Here on the right side of the screen, you had that moment there
everything. It's got a turret on the top.
When that
So these are
Bearcat that was
undercover
just brought onto
vehicles.
the
These are
chase
not
here,
civilians. These are undercover
attempted a pit
officers,
maneuver.
probably
And
from
from Brian,
Fontana.
from your
They
shot,
pinned them in.
yes,
The passenger
that
looks
gas
like
tank
they
on the
have
left side of
opened
the
their
driver's
door.
side of the
The
truck
passenger's door is open.
suffered
Hands are up from the passenger.
significant damage. I
Driver
mean, that
hasn't
is
done anything
very
right
significant.
now.
Yeah, I believe that fuel tank's damaged just a little bit. I mean, yeah, I don't believe that one's got any fuel left in it. And with the crossover, the return, eventually it's going to run out.
Oh boy.
Well, it looks like we've lost Brian's shot there. It looks like officers here have finally pinned in this big rig. We have the person in the passenger seat who Fontana believes may be a kidnapping victim here with their hands raised. We've seen that person interact with people on the street. We can only assume begging for help. We understand that person who you see whose hands are raised had called 911 saying that the driver of the big rig would not let them out of the big rig. So you see how quickly that person was to give up.
All right, we see the driver
and
finally
now the driver
getting
finally
out.
opening their door. We're hopeful this comes to a peaceful end. We've seen the driver open their door before, Brian, and refuse to get out.
Yeah, we have. So right now, those vehicles that haven't pinned in, those are likely Fontana SWAT, Fullerton SWAT officers. So you can see those guys. They're not in the normal uniforms. They've got body armor. They've got helmets on. There's the driver out of the vehicle, hands up. He's just come out. The passenger looks like they're still in the vehicle. That driver is listening to commands. They're ordering him back.
Here have finally.
I was about to get upset. I wanted to see how this thing concludes.
Take him into custody. What a interesting end to this pursuit where they just, there you go. Yep. Okay. All right. Now they've still got their guns drawn. They're going to start giving the passenger who has their hands up and out the passenger side of that truck. They're going to give them orders to get down, get out. They might come around the other side of the vehicle so they've got eyes on them. You can see them coming around the back. They're going to get eyes on that passenger, have them get down. They're going to treat them just like the suspect. They're going to get them out, give them orders, get them down on the ground because they don't know the situation. So they need to protect themselves, make sure that that person is not involved. There you go. You can see the driver in cuffs being led away now in custody. Now they just have that passenger who's still just sitting. Looks like they're just standing there in the tractor door, not getting out right now. We know that those officers are going to be giving that passenger commands to come down, get out, get on the ground. But right now, I think the officers are just trying to figure out how to do this safely, taking their time. There's no rush. They don't need to hurry through this. The tractor is pinned. The driver is in custody. They're going to take their time, make sure they can do this safely and effectively.
A wild pursuit. We see Canaan. We see a lot of activity. If you can, Brian, just tell us whereabouts we're at. I know we're on Beach Boulevard and Franklin Street. Traffic around that area looks pretty congested as we're seeing this passenger still on that big rig.
Yeah, so we're not on Beach Boulevard. That's a pretty main street. Beach Boulevard and Franklin. Yeah, traffic is stopped right now. So there's going to be, I would avoid this area of Buena Park if you can because it's going to be a little bit hectic and chaotic here while they get this under control. But okay, so there you can see the passengers out there in the crosswalk. They've got their hands and arms up. That looks like a man. Looks like a male to me. They're walking backwards.
And as you mentioned, they're going to treat this person just like the suspect initially before they figure out exactly what the situation is. Again, Fontana police saying this is a possible kidnapping, but they're going to have to work to confirm that. And now, Brian, the job is to confirm that these were the only two people left in that big rig cab.
Exactly. You can see those officers still covering that cab to make sure that there's no one in there. They're going to go, they're going to check, make sure that it is indeed empty and there's no other suspects in that vehicle. All right, there we go. That is a code 4. That situation, we saw them give the code 4 sign. This is under control. The driver has been apprehended. The passenger has also been apprehended. Everyone is
high-fiving each other. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
that was a unique one.
This really was a unique one. It was a wild chase. You know, fortunately, nobody was injured here. But, you know, it was very, very concerning for so many people, so many of these drivers that were out and about. And then, of course, that passenger who may, again, be possibly have been kidnapped. So, yeah, we are, of course, going to continue to monitor that situation there. But you can still see that there is a lot of police presence.
Well, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a pretty long one. Thanks for sticking with me. And if you ain't done so already, give me a like, follow, and share. That was a pretty wild chase. Slow, but wild. Uh, Tell me what you think in the comments, drivers, of how this thing played out. I'm not sure. But like I said, I'm Trucker Joe. We'll catch you on the next one.